You've been standing in the security line for 45 minutes. Finally, you reach the front. But instead of just scanning your bag, the agent pulls you aside and starts asking where you're flying, who you're meeting, and how much cash you're carrying. In this video, we are going to define the exact boundaries of Federal Airport Security Authority and provide the specific verbal scripts you need to protect your privacy. To do that, we have to look at a basic legal distinction. The Transportation Security Administration is an administrative agency. Their specific mandate is aviation security. They are not a law enforcement agency tasked with investigating general crimes. Applying this distinction allows you to categorize every question or request as either part of that specific administrative mission or an attempt to move beyond it. Let's start with the administrative mandate. Legally, the TSA has a single job: preventing dangerous or prohibited items from entering the sterile area of an airport or boarding an aircraft. To satisfy that mandate, you must comply with a few specific actions. First, you must allow your luggage to pass through the X-ray machine. Second, you must submit to either an advanced imaging body scanner or a physical pat-down. Third, you must present a valid, federally recognized ID. And fourth, you must remove any prohibited items from your carry-on luggage. Executing those four precise actions completely satisfies the legal requirement for a federal administrative search. Once those criteria are met, your legal obligation to the agency is fulfilled. Any further demands or inquiries shift the burden of proof back onto the federal screeners. That brings us to overreach. A physical safety screening is required. Unauthorized intelligence gathering is not. Agents are not authorized to interrogate you about your travel destinations. They cannot probe your personal finances, search the contents of your digital devices, or detain you after you have cleared the physical security checkpoint. There is also a strict boundary regarding paper documents. Agents may fan through papers in your bag to ensure they don't conceal a weapon, like a razor blade, but actively reading the text on those documents constitutes an unconstitutional search. Determining the basis of a constitutional claim is often the most difficult part of Section 1983 litigation. In the context of the Fourth Amendment, the central question is whether the officer's actions were objectively reasonable in light of the facts and circumstances. Recognizing these boundaries in real time helps you separate the mandatory security screening from the optional questioning. The physical search is required for flight. Answering probes into your private life is not. Now we will apply the verbal defense strategy. Under pressure, it is easy to stumble or over-explain. You must rely on pre-memorized scripts to navigate these moments cleanly. If an agent asks, "Where are you headed today?" or "Who are you traveling to see?" you use this specific response: "I'd prefer to focus on completing screening, thank you." If an agent asks, "Are you carrying any cash?" or "How much currency do you have?" you deploy the financial boundary response: "I do not answer questions about my personal finances. Am I cleared for physical security?" It is critical that you deliver these scripts in a polite, completely unemotional tone. Frustration or aggression gives the agent an excuse to claim you are hostile, which can escalate the encounter to actual law enforcement. These scripts allow you to address non-mandatory questions with a definitive endpoint. You establish a clear boundary without providing any behavioral evidence that could be used to justify further suspicion. You may still face a delay, so it is important to know the difference between an illegal detention and a lawful delay. Holding you specifically to extract answers is illegal, but if an agent spots a dense cluster of cables in your bag and needs to conduct a secondary physical screening, that is a lawful delay. During these secondary screenings, agents often use a common psychological tension tactic. They will work in total silence, deliberately moving slowly, trying to make you uncomfortable enough to start volunteering information. Your required response here is physical discipline. Stand perfectly still, remain silent. Resist the urge to fill that awkward, tense air with nervous chatter. The moment the agent finishes closing your bag, use this final script to force a conclusion. Has my property been cleared of prohibited items? Am I free to go? Silence prevents the agent from gathering the extra information they are trained to look for. When you refuse to fill the gap, the agent is forced to rely solely on the physical evidence they have in front of them. Once the agent confirms that your property is cleared, take your bag and walk away from the checkpoint. You have successfully complied fully with federal physical security mandates while firmly shutting down unauthorized intelligence gathering. Take a moment to screenshot the quote cards provided in this lesson and save this video to review as a pre-flight checklist before your next trip. Asserting your constitutional rights at a checkpoint is not an act of defiance. It is a necessary, everyday practice to maintain the boundaries of a free society.